Hi, I'm Jacob Gallucci, and today I'd like to make my predictions for the 2013 NFL season. And I'll start with the NFC. In the NFC North, the Chicago Bears will win the division with a record of 13-3. The Green Bay Packers will go 12-4. The Minnesota Vikings will go 8-8, and the Detroit Lions will go 7-9. In the South, I have the Atlanta Falcons going 12-4. The New Orleans Saints will go 10-6. The Carolina Panthers will go 7-9. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will also go 7-9. In the East, I have the New York Giants going 10-6. The Washington Redskins will go 9-7. The Dallas Cowboys will go 8-8. And the Philadelphia Eagles will go 6-10. In the NFC West, the San Francisco 49ers will go 12-4. The Seattle Seahawks will go 11-5. The St. Louis Rams will go 8-8. And the Arizona Cardinals, they'll go 7-9. And the playoff teams in the NFC, the number one seed will be the Chicago Bears. The number two seed will be the San Francisco 49ers. The number 3 seed will be the Atlanta Falcons. And the number 4 seed will be the New York Giants. The wild card teams will be the Green Bay Packers and the Seattle Seahawks. And the New Orleans Saints and the Washington Redskins will just miss the playoffs. And in the AFC, here are my AFC predictions. In the AFC North, the Cincinnati Bengals will go 11-5. The Baltimore Ravens will go 10-6. The Pittsburgh Steelers will go 8-8. And the Cleveland Browns will go 6-10. In the AFC South, the Houston Texans will go 12-4. The Indianapolis Colts will go 11-5. The Tennessee Titans will go 6-10. And the Jacksonville Jaguars will go 4-12. In the AFC East, the New England Patriots will go 12-4. The Miami Dolphins will go 8-8. The Buffalo Bills will go 6-10. And the New York Jets will go 4-12. And finally, in the AFC West, the Denver Broncos will go 11-5. The San Diego Chargers will go 8-8. The Kansas City Chiefs will go 7-9. And the Oakland Raiders will go 4-12. Excuse me. And like the playoff pairings in the AFC will be as follows. The Houston Texans will have the number 1 seed. The New England Patriots will have the number 2 seed. The Cincinnati Bengals will have the number 3 seed. And the Denver Broncos will have the number 4 seed. And the wild card teams will be the Indianapolis Colts and the Baltimore Ravens. And excuse me for 1 second here. Before I make my playoff predictions, you're probably wondering why I think the Bears will go 13-3 this year. Well, I'll give you my Chicago Bears predictions for the 2013 season. In Week 1, they're at home against the Cincinnati Bengals, and I think the Bears will win that game. Week 2, they're at home against the Minnesota Vikings, and I think the Bears will win that game as well. Week 3, the Bears are at Pittsburgh. They're on the road against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I think the Bears will lose that game. Week 4 at Detroit, the Bears will win. Week 5 at home versus the Saints, the Bears will win. Week 6 at home against the Giants, I think the Bears will win that game. And Week 7 on the road against the Redskins, I think the Bears will lose that game. And going into the bye week, the Bears will be 5-2. Week 8's the bye week. Week 9 at Green Bay, the Bears will lose that game. And at the halfway point, the Bears will be 5-3. But from that point on, they'll win the remaining game. They'll win the last 8 games of the regular season. Week 10 at home against Detroit, they'll win that game. Week 11 at home against Baltimore, they'll win that game. Week 12 at St. Louis, the Bears will win that game. Week 13 at Minnesota, the Bears will win. Week 14 against Dallas, the Bears will win. Week 15 at Cleveland, the Bears will win. Week 16 at Philadelphia, the Bears will win. And Week 17 at home against Green Bay, I think the Bears will win that game as well. And in the playoffs, here are my playoff predictions. In the wild card round, Seattle will be at Atlanta, and the Falcons will beat them. The Falcons will win that game. The other game, you have Green Bay at New York. Green Bay will be playing the New York Giants in New York, and I think the Packers will beat the Giants. In the divisional playoffs, Green Bay will be at Chicago, and I think the Bears will beat the Packers. And the other game is Atlanta at San Francisco, and I think the 49ers will win that game. In the NFC Championship, you'll have San Francisco at Chicago, and I think the Bears will beat the 49ers. I really do. In the AFC playoffs, in the wild card round, Baltimore will be at Cincinnati, and the Bengals will win that game. And then the other game is the Indianapolis Colts at the Denver Broncos, and I think the Broncos will beat them. In the divisional playoffs, you'll have Denver at Houston, and Houston will beat Denver. Houston will win that game. The other game, you'll have Cincinnati at New England, and I think the Bengals will upset New England. In Foxborough, yes, I think the Bengals will beat the Patriots. In the AFC Championship, you'll have Cincinnati at Houston, and for the third year in a row, Houston will beat Cincinnati in the playoffs. In Super Bowl 48, it'll be the Chicago Bears versus the Houston Texans, and I think the Bears will win that game. It'll be a high-scoring game, but it'll be a close game as well, and I think the Bears will beat them. I really do. And those were my predictions for the 2013 NFL season, and I have one more video for today. It'll be a video that'll show my predictions for Week 1 of the NFL season, and the season starts tomorrow night. You'll have Baltimore at Denver. It's a Thursday night game, and I'll make my Week 1 predictions in the next video. And anyway, stay tuned for that.